two. I'm glad to be back with you doing some more writing today. Today we're going to be learning to put a new suffix onto the end of words. We're going to be changing some adjectives into adverbs. For today's lesson you're going to need some paper, preferably lined, a pencil to write with, and maybe if you want to be a teacher and do some marking you can get a green and pink pen and a purple polishing pen as well. Now, before we start, as usual, we're going to celebrate some fantastic work that's been sent in to our Year 2 email address. I'll be back in a moment after this. This time it's the turn of Miss Count's bubble to be celebrated. You can see they've been working really hard looking at the Great Explorer and writing their expanded noun phrases to show the sorts of things Tom should take with him on his journey to find Dad. I'm going to ask Miss Count to make sure that all the children in her bubble get an aspiration dojo point because their work is superb. Well done. Okay, I'm going to read the next part of The Great Explorer by Chris Judd. Remember, Tom had just reached the North Pole. As he sailed on, he saw lots of beautiful shapes in the ice. It was the most magical place he had ever seen. But soon the ice got thicker and thicker until eventually the boat ran aground on the ice. Fortunately, Tom had a hot air balloon on board. He pumped it full of hot air and soon it was ready to take off. He unhitched the rope and up it went. As night fell, the spectacular northern lights lit up the sky. Tom was amazed. But the balloon sailed too high and was hit by a passing satellite. The balloon plummeted downwards. Ah! Tom screamed with fright. Luckily, he had a parachute with him. Quickly, he put it on and jumped out. Okay, as a little starter to help get our brains warmed up, I've got 3 pictures here and 3 adjectives. Can you pause the video and discuss with your grown-up which adjective matches which picture? Off you go. Were you right? Let's have a look. Well done, everyone. Okay, we know that adjectives are fantastic for adding extra information for describing nouns. And we've done lots of work on that recently, especially with our expanded noun phrases for the items that Tom was going to take in his rucksack. But sometimes we want to do things differently. So let's have a little look at the pictures again. In the first picture, we've got a man. He's a brave man because he's jumping over that big gap. Doesn't know whether he's going to make it. But we might want to describe not the man, but what he's doing. He's jumping. How is he jumping? He's jumping bravely. Let's look at the next picture. Got some runners. You can barely see them because they are very quick. They are quick runners. That's our expanded noun phrase. But we might not want to describe the runners. We might want to describe what they're doing and how they're doing it. What are they doing? They're running. How are they running? They are running quickly. Let's look at that final picture, the old snail. He is a slow snail. And that's our expanded noun phrase. But we might not want to describe the snail himself. We might want to describe how he's moving. How is he moving? He is moving slowly. Pause the video for a moment and have a look at the words in red. How have they changed? How have our original adjectives changed? Welcome back. Okay, having had a look at these new red words, we can see that each word ends in ly. And that's because they've had the ly suffix added to them. And our adjectives have become another type of word called an adverb. And an adverb with an ly ending is going to help us describe how someone or something is doing something. Okay, let's have a look at some of the rules for adding the ly suffix. These aren't all the rules, but they're the only ones we're going to look at today. And some of them will be quite familiar for the other suffixes we have found out about. Now, most of the time, you can just add ly onto the end of the word, and that's your best bet. Now we know where words end in y, we usually have to change the y to an I, and that's no different with the ly suffix. So if a word ends in y, change the y to an I and add ly. Now, usually we have words that end in e and we take off the e. Not so with the ly suffix, but if the word ends in le, we have to remove the le and add the ly. So let's have a look at some of these words. Pause the video now and have a look at some of the examples. Now, as you can see on my piece of paper, I've drawn a little picture of Tom. I've tried my best and I popped him in a little bubble. Now on the screen you can see that I've got all these adjectives that could describe Tom. Not sure all of them are going to be useful though, and I'm not sure all of them are correct adjectives to describe Tom. So I'm going to choose the ones that I think do, and I'm going to write them around. Okay, first one that I can spot is brave. Do I think Tom is brave? Yes, I do. So over here, around him, I'm going to write the word brave. Nice and clearly. Now, I can see the word cruel. Cruel means you're unkind. Do I think Tom is unkind? No, I don't. I think he's a really kind boy who wants to do the best for his dad. So I'm not going to write the word cruel down. Next word I can see is careful. I'm going to write that over here. I like the word careful. I think Tom will have to be very careful because there might be some dangerous things happening on his journey. So I'm just going to write the word careful over here. Now you can see that I am keeping quite a lot of space. We are going to need to write either under the words we've chosen or next to the words we've chosen. So make sure you leave a space. Now I'm going to carry on with mine, and I want you to pause the video now, look at the words on the screen and choose the words that you think describe Tom the best. You can do your own little picture of Tom and write it around if you like, or you can just write them in a list. That's up to you. Come back in a moment and we'll have a look. Here are the words for you to choose some for yourself. Choose the words that you think can best describe Tom or describe how he might want to do something. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, here are my chosen words. I've chosen brave, slow, because he might have to do things slowly, happy, careful, gentle and quick. Are they the same as your words or are they different? Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to choose a word, and I'm going to use the rules that are on the screen to see if I can add ly. The word I'm going to choose is gentle. Now I know that gentle ends with an le, and I know the rule for that is I take the le off and replace it with ly. So gentle becomes gently. Okay, I'm going to choose my next word. My next word is quick. Doesn't end in le, and it doesn't end in a y, so I know I can just add ly. So quick becomes quickly. Right, now I want you to pause the video and have a go at using the rules on the screen to help you change your adjectives into adverbs. Off you go. Let's look at our chili challenges. Chili 1. Choose one of the words that describe Tom. Add ly and say the new word out loud. Maybe you could have a go at acting it out as well. Chili 2. Use those rules to add the ly suffix to your chosen words, just like I've been doing. You could maybe do the ly suffix in a different colour to make it stand out. Chili 3. Use some of your new words in a sentence to show how Tom is doing something. Maybe you can use the new part of the story as some inspiration. Pause the video now and have a go, and I'll be back in a moment with a check. Here are the rules. Pause the video now and see if you can change your words, your adjectives, into ly adverbs. Come back for a check. Okay, I hope you've had fun changing your adjectives into adverbs and maybe even written a few sentences using your new words. Here's a check so you can see whether you have spelt these words correctly using the correct rules for adding the ly suffix. Don't forget, I absolutely love seeing your work coming through on the Year 2 email, so make sure you take lots of pictures and send them to me. Maybe you could even video yourself reading out your sentences. I look forward to seeing them. Have a good day.